New tonight, police cracking down on a growing problem in South Florida. We assume most parents make sure their kids are buckled up in the car, but we've now found that's not the case for everyone.
In fact, the number of kids that the Team 6 investigators found not wearing a seatbelt when they went out with police was surprising. Here's Team 6 investigator Dan KRAUTH.
Even though the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says 13% of Floridians don't buckle up, that number appears to be much higher for children in some parts of South Florida, and the consequences can be deadly. Just ask Stacy Satchel.
For the rest of my life, I will forever be empty.
Empty because when the phone rang on April 3rd, 2011, it brought the worst news a parent can get. Both 11-year-old Shane and 18-month-old Stefan were dead.
Absolutely was saying, just wake me up, because I thought I was in a dream, because there's no way this could be real.
Remembering the crash is still painful for Satchel's 7-year-old daughter.
And I know Shane and Stefan is looking down on you. You believe that? All right.
Satchel's sons were on their way home to Coral Springs with their dad when a tire blew. Their SUV flipped over. Shane, Stefan, and another child were thrown from the vehicle. None was wearing a seatbelt. All three died at the scene.
I was devastated. It could have prevented what has happened.
Federal statistics indicate seatbelts might have saved the children's lives. They show passengers who buckle up are 45% less likely to be critically injured in a crash. But if you're thrown from a car, you've got a 79% chance of dying. That's why Broward Sheriff's deputies and fire rescue employees are now periodically looking for parents who don't buckle up their children.
Hey, how come you didn't have on that seatbelt?
The percentage of children not wearing seatbelts is staggering.
4 for 4 cars that came by, nobody was buckled. That's bad.
At Collins Elementary, 83% of kids counted were not wearing a seatbelt.
I don't even have words for it. I'm extremely shocked.
At Dania Elementary, nearly half of students weren't wearing seatbelts, and that number was more than 80 at each of these 2 other schools.
It's just amazing that people don't take the time to buckle up their kids.
It doesn't take this state trooper long to spot an unbuckled child.
How old are you? 11. How come you weren't wearing your seatbelt?
I forget.
His mother gets a ticket.
The truth was, I forgot to tell him. I always tell him.
Officers say being in a rush is part of the problem, and studies show the problem is worse among some demographic groups. According to the Centers for Disease Control, almost half of all Black and Hispanic children killed in crashes were not wearing a seatbelt. Compare that to just 26% of white children.
I'm from Jamaica, so to speak, and seatbelts and car seats and booster seats is not something that we are highly educated on.
I saw some people and they did not have on their seatbelts.
At the schools, a seatbelt superhero helps change potentially deadly habits for kids. Part of BSO's seatbelt campaign, a lesson deputies want parents to learn as well.
Got on too. Parents lead by example.
As for Satchel, she hopes her story prevents others from traveling the same painful road.
For everybody I can inspire of the importance, of using a car seat or a seat belt, I can save a life. Then Shane and Stefan lives on. Something so simple changed my life forever.
BSO says its seatbelt campaign resulted in nearly 60% increase in seatbelt use at one school. As for the father of the boys, driver Steve Roy Hansen was cited and fined $2,400, and his license was suspended for 6 months. Team 6 investigator Dan KRAUTH, NBC6 South Florida.
And a reminder tonight that the Team 6 investigators are working for you. If you have a story you think they need to check out, send an email to team6investigators@NBC6.com, or you can call our tip lines.